So what, 3 or 4 weeks we've been trying to coordinate on this schedule, and finally
Yeah, it's been a
the
while.
the planets have aligned. How you been? You've been
I'm good,
traveling
man.
all over.
Good. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not really sure why. Like, what happened? I didn't do anything.
Switzerland, right? Is that right?
hmm
Switzerland? You went to get a
Yeah,
tattoo.
Switzerland. Yeah, Switzerland was like a long. Do you mind if I drink this while I talk? Is
Go,
this a thing?
yeah, go for it. Go for it.
All right, just want to make sure.
That's fine. It's fine.
No, Switzerland was actually a long time coming. I've been wanting to get a tattoo from a specific artist for literally like 6, 7 years. So when I got the opportunity, I was like, screw it, I'm going. So I went. I went to France for a little tournament. The guys were supposed to have a bigger tournament, but something happened, so they like kind of threw a smaller one together last minute. They're supposed to have a lot of European players. I was supposed to go.
Right.
Um, Phenom was supposed to go. Gamerby was supposed to go, and a couple others, but because of the issues with the event, they weren't able to have it in the same spot or get the players. So they already bought my ticket, and they asked if I still wanted to go, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll go. I don't care, man. I get to go to France for free for a couple days. I'll take it."
Sure, why not?
So,
ESB, yeah, I remember that actually from the last 2 years.
yeah.
Traditionally it's been pretty good.
Mm.
Okay, so let's jump before we talk about For Honor, because I really actually want to talk about that. You were one of the first people that I saw that got the invitation for the new E League, the Street Fighter
Yes,
Five E League
I
thing.
I believe I was the first one. I
Yes.
don't want to say that. I don't want to copyright that, but I'm pretty sure I was right after the announcement. I checked my email and I had it like immediately. I actually didn't say anything online or any kind of social media forum because I wasn't sure if we were allowed. So I messaged the
Okay.
people. I was like, "Hey, are we allowed to say something?" Like I got the email literally. Like I saw the trailer and I checked my email and it was there. So again, I didn't want to break any kind of rule. Or I wasn't sure if they were going to announce it, they were going to leave it up to
Hmm.
the players. So they gave it a go. And even then, I was still like, should I be the first one? Like, is that kind of stupid? Should I be the last one? Is it cooler if I'm the last one? But I was just like, whatever. I'll just throw it out there. So
Give me Li Joe's impressions of, first of all, the announcement of like this event. It's a big money event. It's kind of right in the middle. Well, not really in the middle, but as CPT starts, rolling into pre Evo,
mhm.
and yeah, there's a lot of top players that have been invited to this thing so far. So what's Li Joe's impression of that, and of course your feelings on being invited?
I mean, it stinks that it is where it is. You know what I mean? Like that does kind of hurt some players, I think, and some other events maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I think it's an amazing opportunity for the FGC in general. So I think we definitely have to do the right thing and give it our all within what they give us. Again, we're going to be on
Right.
TBS.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't even care about the. I don't care. Like, yeah, it's $250,000. Even if they said it was free, I'd be like, this is still really, really important. I don't
Yeah.
think the prize pool changes the importance of the overall event. You know what I mean? It
Right.
might be individual player motivation, of course, but I think the real goal of it is not really who gets the money. It's what we do while we're there and how we showcase ourselves to the world, pretty much. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like this is going to be an episodic thing on TBS. You know what I mean? So I mean, I believe so. So I
Yeah.
think again, I think the real win is going to be what we conglomerately do together on this show for everyone else to see, and then who knows what doors open up after that. Um, but yeah, that's kind of my overall thoughts on it.
You'll be one of a few players who has had the opportunity to play Street Fighter V on national TV.
Yeah,
How do you
so
like one up Evo and
yeah,
ESPN?
I don't know, dude. Yeah, that's so. I think I'm the only one. No, I'm not the only player. The only American player to do them both. That's for sure. Because I was the only American on ESPN. So I'd be the
Uh,
only American player to actually do it both.
if you don't want to count Capcom Cup's rebroadcast, because technically that wasn't live. But
Eh.
technically it was aired. Yeah.
No,
But
no, no,
you're
no. Yeah,
correct.
you're right. You're right.
You're
You're right.
correct.
Yeah.
Uh,
But honestly, man, it's like I mean, we've had a lot of conversations, and like what this
mhm.
stuff means to me. You know what I'm saying? And like
Yeah.
how I don't want to use the word honored because I feel like it's way more than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel way more than honored to be able to represent the community and be able to do something that I love. You know what I mean? It's really it's very humbling to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I feel like when things like this happen, it doesn't my head doesn't explode. It actually shrinks in. You know, I feel like I get more humble as more things like this come across. Um, 'Cause I don't know, man. It's like a dream, it really is. It's like living a dream. Like, you know, I've gotten to do all these different things, and you know, what I mean,
Hmm.
people know me for doing something that I would absolutely die for, and I feel like that alone is something you don't really. Not everyone, unfortunately, not everyone is going to be able to get that feeling or have that opportunity. So again, I do not take this for granted, man. I love everything that's come my way. I love everyone that's come my way as far as the scene goes and opportunity. So it's weird to swallow. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like I'm gonna be on TV playing Street Fighter Five. It's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? And again, the fact that I'm one of 32 people in the world, like, there's a lot of people in the world. You know, a lot of people that play Street Fighter. You know, so
Yeah.
it's just again, super humbling experience, and I'm very excited. Again, I don't know. I hope I do well. You know, I haven't been playing too much, but
Yeah. How's that Urian? We saw your Urian what a couple weeks ago on
yeah, I
King of the
got
Hill.
a Yeah, I got beat at King of the Hill. Eduardo beat me 10-6, I think. But it was good
Yeah.
games. Like I feel
Yep.
like
Yep.
it was good games. I was happy with playing like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Obviously, I still need to tighten up the character. And I just went to Winter Brawl and I got ninth with Yuri and I got ninth. So
Right.
not too bad. One game away from top eight. It's like, you know, it's not terrible. You know,
Yeah.
not horrible. But last night, every Thursday, the Long Island Cats, we all play. It's at a card shop, a Magic the Gathering shop actually called the
Mhm.
Arena. One love to the Arena. Big John. So we all play there every Thursday. All day last night. All day last night. Figure that out. All day yesterday. All night last night. I used Nash the whole night
Oh.
for the first time in probably like 4 months, 5 months. I was watching Bonchan. I'm
Yeah.
getting
I was gonna
very
say he's holding it
inspired.
down.
Yeah, I'm getting very inspired to try Nash again. So I
Okay.
played him all night. So for the next like week or so, I'm gonna do some like serious Nash training, and then just see what I want to do. Maybe I have both characters. You know, maybe I
Yeah.
can find some matches where I'd rather use Urian or use Nash. But I feel like me, I'm a better Nash player than I am a Urian
Right.
player. Sorry, we're going on a little tangent. I apologize,
No, no,
but
no, it's okay. Uh, before we go on to For Honor, there is one thing that I've actually been really dying to ask you.
mm,
And I think because I want some people to kind of have an idea of what it's like. Um, Evo, of course, was a big deal for a lot of people involved, including yourself. And I think the perception a lot of people had was, here's this thing that Joe did, like he made it. He's gonna get like his sponsor. He can quit his job finally. He can go do this thing full time. And the reality is that didn't happen. I know you and I talk a lot, so I know personally you had some changes at your job. Things happen with scheduling and things like that. You have still been able to travel a lot, a lot being more than probably the average
yeah.
guy. But I actually want you to talk a little bit on your feelings about sort of the impact of like post Evo and how it changed or didn't change, and maybe what your expectations were.
Uh, whew. Well, post Evo was actually a scary thing. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I've been playing forever. I was literally like
Right.
3 or 4 years old. I'm now 31 years old. That's a long time to be playing fighting games. And granted, I didn't play them that competitive when I was like 4 or 5 years
Sure.
old, but it was a thing I did, and it was a thing that I enjoyed. So to reach the pinnacle of Evo top eight finally was
Yeah.
obviously like an amazing experience beyond anything I can explain. But after it, like I felt like this might sound this might come out the wrong way, and I don't really mean it like this, but there's times where like I've had to deal with things where I was like, I'm not sure if not that it was worth it, but a lot of stuff came after that particular point. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like, I feel like I had a huge weight on my shoulders. Like, now I have to win everything. I have to beat
Right.
every single person I ever play. And I'm going to be honest with you, that's just not realistic, especially with me and my life. It's just not realistic. I was at a self inner mental all time high during Evo as far as my fighting game career goes. Like,
Hmm.
I was studying, I was playing, I was so focused. Like, I've never been that focused on anything before in my life. And yes, it did pay off, but after it, I lost it. I'm not gonna, I lost. I didn't focus as much. Things happened with work. Things happened in life and stuff like that. I don't play every single day. There's a lot of things that I like. I love music. I love going to shows. I had a girlfriend for a while. I lived my life not necessarily around Street Fighter. You know what I mean? I did
Right.
other things, and Street Fighter was just a thing. So but again, for that month, 2 months prior to Evo, again, I was super focused, and I lost it, and it was just hard to, because you have to hear people say that, you know what I mean, like, you didn't deserve that, and all that other kinds of things. And granted, that stuff
Sure.
doesn't bother me. Like, I don't care. Like, the medal is hanging in my office. No matter what you say, you cannot take that medal away from me. So I don't really care what people say. But when you put yourself in the perspective of these certain players, and like, I remember talking to Justin, and I'm like, Justin, dude, I feel bad for people like you because he does it all the time. Like, the weight on his back is 10
Yeah.
times the weight on my back. Like, when you reach a certain status, people just expect a lot from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, unfortunately, it's just not realistic a lot of the times. So for the first time in my fighting game career, I had to feel that. You know what I mean? So it was kind of weird. It was a little different.
Mhm.
But again, I did my best. I carry the weight the best I can. Saying I don't let things get me down. You know me well than anybody, dude. Nothing really
Yep.
bothers me. I don't care what you say or what you think of me or about me. I am who I am. I think the way I think, and that's not really going to change depending on anybody else or their perspective. But
Right.
yeah. So that's my after Evo thing. Yeah.
That yeah, I'm glad that you're willing to talk about that because I mean I think the nature of fighting games, people forget that, hey, failure and losing is more common than winning and success. In that, only one person can win a tournament, or every match there's got to be a winner and a loser.
Hmm.
Um, but speaking of winning or losing honorably, let's talk about For Honor. This is an interesting
Let's talk
topic to
about For
me
Honor.
because I have been playing a little bit, and I know that when the game came out, I saw you tweeting about it, tweeting about building a competitive scene, and of course today we see an announcement from Panda Global, which we have a story on Yahoo Esports right now. What's it called? War Rising, War
Yeah,
right?
War
What?
Rising. Yep. Hmm.
War Rising, a tournament, a For Honor tournament series,
Yeah, Circuit
a
series. Yeah.
circuit,
Yeah.
which of course you're involved in, and of course
Hmm.
Bear, shout outs to
Yep.
Bear,
Mr. Bear.
Smash Four organizer.
Yep. We have DM
How did
Brandon
this
also.
how did this come about? Like
Well,
why push For Honor?
I played it. Well, okay, let's rewind. E3, whatever year it was, Street Fighter Five E3.
Okay,
I was there, and I'm pretty sure it was Street Fighter Five E3, and For Honor was there,
okay,
and Mr. Edma, who is a legend
yep,
in the Street Fighter community, Edma had the shirt on, and then I was like, "What the hell are you doing?" Because obviously I know who he is. Me and him
yep,
are, we know each other. So I'm like, "What the hell?" He's like, "Dude, I'm working on this game." I'm like, "Seriously?" He's like, "Yeah." So I wanted to play the game, but the line was three. There was a little sign. It said 3 hours
right,
from this point. I'm like, I mean, it looks cool and all, but I'm not waiting 3 hours. I'm gonna go play Street Fighter Five. So I was talking to Ed, Ed said he's making his game. So I was like, cool. Whenever there's a beta, I'm like, I want to try this game. I watched it like 4 times. I watched some matches at E3, and I thought it looked really cool. And
yeah,
talking to Ed, Ed's a fighting game guy, and he's explaining things to me. He's like, it's going to be very reactionary based. It's going to be fighting game esque in a way.
hmm
So obviously
hmm
that got me really interested from the start. So then I met some other guys. I forgot where I spoke to him, but Stone is he also works for Ubisoft.
Stone, yeah, Stone
I
Chin.
got in touch with Stone. Yeah, Stone was like, dude, it's coming out. We want so
That is
I
a real
signed up
name, by the
for
way,
the
Stone Chin. That is a real name.
Stone Chin. So I signed up for the closed alpha, It was an
Hmm.
alpha. It was like a couple characters, and I was like, dude, this game is pretty sick. So I was telling
Yeah.
everybody about it. I was trying to spread the word a little bit, and then obviously I played all the betas. I tried to play the game as much as I could, and I like the game. Is the game perfect? No, it has. I think in a patch or two, it's going to be super solid. Once
Right.
they add some more things, there's going to be more modes. I'm sure there's going to be modes, maps, characters, blah 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 blah. But I see the potential in that game, I think, is unlike anything that's been out in a long time, as especially competitive esportsy kind of stuff, and
Yeah.
especially like a fighting game. Like it is essentially sort of a fighting game.
Yeah.
Like the characters have moves, they have strings, they have combos, characters have cancels. There's reads, there's reactions, there's mind games, there's fakes, there's throws, there's throw breaks. Like it shares the footsies, it shares so much stuff that a fighting game does. It's just put in a different perspective. So obviously, me liking fighting games, I was immediately drawn to it. So yeah, I was playing, and then I was talking to the guys at Panda because they actually messaged me when I was trying to get a scene going. I made a
Right.
post on Reddit, and it got crazy good feedback. Like in my first post on Reddit ever, and it was crazy. Yeah, it was not serious. I was like, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. So I was talking to people on Reddit, really trying to see what I could do as a tournament organizer, as a fighting
Mhm.
game player, what I can do to help the scene grow. Because I think it's special, dude. It really is super special, and I want to
Yeah.
be a part of it. Like I want to help it grow. I want to see it become big. I'm really happy Larry has it there. At ECT, it's going to Throwdown. It's going to be at ECT this year. I can guarantee you that. So Alex Valle has also been pushing. So a lot of the FGC people have been taking notice that there's something going on here. So I think everyone just wants to push it and just create a whole nother community, just like we did at FGC. Very grassroots things from the bottom up, and hope to see what Ubisoft does as far as their ideas. I know they have
Mhm.
huge ideas as far as leagues and circuits and esports things and whatever. So again, man, it could definitely be something, and I'm just happy it's here, and we'll see what happens with it in the future. But I just want to help the game grow, man. Again, I enjoy playing it. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to kind of slow down now with the announcement of me being invited to the Street Fighter. So I gotta have to calm down For Honor. I really have to focus on Street Fighter, but I'm always going to do my best to try and push that game for sure.
Yeah. Uh, for anyone who doesn't know, it just came out, I think, what, a week or two ago. There's different modes: 1v1, 2v2, 4v4. The report just came out, but I haven't had a chance to really go over it. This circuit, is it a 1v1 or 2v2, or is it?
One to
Okay.
start.
Okay.
There might be some changes in the future. Again, who knows what Ubisoft really wants to do as far as their competitive edge? I'm going to assume they do some sort of 4v4 because it stays
Yeah.
along the line. It aligns with all the other esports games like CS:GO and League and Dota and everything like that. I mean, there's tons of them, but 9 out of 10 they're all team orientated because you
Yeah.
get more dynamic with a team. I actually think that's something that we in the FGC it kind of holds us back a little bit. That's a whole nother conversation. Maybe we get to that another time. But I do think the team aspect is very, very important for the esports thing.
Um, Sh- my producer Shola, I can, s- I, he, I can just see him salivating in that studio right now.
Hey, Shola.
Because you said teams. All right, so I'm gonna ask you real quick. Uh, Jumping back to Street Fighter real quick. Of course, I mean, you've experienced it in the past with like Third Strike. We see it with Cooperation Cup and Third Strike. Teams is a big deal in fighting games. I think traditionally in like North America, they're usually exhibitions at most of our events, right? Not so much the primary focus of an event. Uh, is teams something that with Street Fighter Five currently the way it is Team something that could succeed as sort of a main event status, whether it's a circuit or just being like a main event at I mean, Evo used to do
Yeah.
teams usually for games that were, cycling out, but is teams and Street Fighter Five something that could work?
I mean, I think teams could work in any fighting game. It's just, let's be honest here. Third Strike and Cooperation Cup is something special.
Right.
I don't know what it is. I'm not sure why. I don't get it. But for some
It's
reason,
definitely lightning in a
co-op,
bottle.
yes, co-op cup is just something special.
Yeah.
I don't know if fighting games if the actual if the actual fighting game gives us the dynamic to make that special feeling when it comes to having a team game. Like I'm not sure if it's there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's hard to create unless you build a game around it, like For Honor did. They built this
Sure.
engine where teams is a thing. You know what I mean? And all other, more heavily esports games, very team based, because there's so much more dynamic. Like just we were actually talking about For Honor, because we were discussing a lot of the rule sets. And one, we can't do it now because the lack of a spectator mode in For Honor makes it almost impossible to stream.
Right.
How do you stream? Like, how do you produce that? It's almost impossible right now with the lack of a spectator mode. But I'm sure that's going to come eventually. But the excitement you get from being able to imagine watching For Honor and being able to cut to all four players where they
Hmm.
are on the map, what's going on, just like League. They cut to what's going on over here, or Dota, what's
Right.
up with here. These guys are over here. Who's in the middle? Who's upper? Like they get to be able. The dynamic is great as opposed to 1v1 where it's just, all right, it's me and this guy. That's it. You lose a lot of excitement that you in the 1v1, you lose some excitement of that you would have the 4v4. You get to
Right.
create sort of plays, you get to develop more of a strategy. While the fighting engine is stronger in a 1v1 or a 2v2, the overall engine expands and you open up so many doors allowing a 4v4. Like I said, there's plays, there's going to be like people are going to be guarding points, holding points. People are going to break up into separate squads and go and try and take this point while people are holding down the B point. When you get rid of the 4v4 and you have a 1v1, it's just me and this guy. You know what I mean? So the 4v4 opens that window of excitement for a million different things, the comeback ability and all these other kind of things that happen. So if you limit the game to just being a 1v1 or a 2v2, I feel it kind of hurts the entertainment value in the long run. And
Right.
also, again, think of the overall production value that they could do with a 4v4. But again, for now, I think the game is new, so everyone has to understand what's going on first. So we'll start off with a 1v1, let people see what it's about, get into the combat, understand what the main focus of the game is, and then once we have the ability to stream more and be able to broaden the game and show more of the game in a production value way or stream way, then we'll
Yeah.
kind of expand it more. And again, who knows what Ubisoft is going to do, but teams, again, fighting game teams, it's super hard to get that. You don't have that ability. I guess you do if you have like the OCV, like the reverse OCV could happen, the reverse one character victory. But again, it's just the dynamic of a team game. It's just not there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's not.
Yeah. I mean, I think I get what you're saying. And let's say, hypothetically speaking, there were some team game dynamics. For example, let's pull from a MOBA the idea of having maybe set team lineups or picks and bans, that
Hmm.
kind of thing. I think personally that one of the reasons Cooperation Cup is so great is because you have Third Strike, which has been out forever. Enough people play it. You can pull 90 teams of 5v5, right? Like there's enough
Yeah.
players out there. I think with Street Fighter 5 there maybe might not be that much talent
Yeah.
yet. We're barely a year into this game,
Yeah.
but can things and even if you think about like For Honor, I know with War Rising, I believe you said there's no bans on anything at this point.
Right
Um,
now, no. Yes.
but if you introduce things like that into, say, Street Fighter or even another major fighting game, I mean, do you think that that kind of has an effect that would make them better in the sense of team main event team tournaments or
You mean like implying some of those same team measures
sort of
like bans and picks and stuff like that in it?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I don't. I to me, you still lose like the essential team feel. Like
right,
we're on a team, but we are not a team within the game. You know what I mean? And I
right.
think
Still a
that's the
one versus
difference.
one.
Yeah, that's the difference. Being a team within the game, being able to talk to your teammates, saying, "Dude, we got to go here. I see them going here. Me and you are going to split and go this way. You guys stay here, hold this or whatever." It's just not there. It's just not there. Like it's exciting to us, I guess, as fighting game players because we understand what's going on and we know that this one person could potentially bring this all back or, oh,
Right.
there's about to be a bad matchup and stuff like that. Yeah, there is some things that we could do, but it's just visually not there. The cooperation and this synergy of being on a team. I just think it's there in some ways, but it's not fully there as it would
Right.
be if the game let us play as a team, not just on a
Right.
team. You know what I mean?
So taking it back to For Honor real quick, I actually want to get your take on this. I've played, various modes. I don't particularly care for 1v1, mostly because it's kind of cool just to jump in a game with other people, at
Mm-hmm.
least at this point. Um, I think one of my favorite modes in For Honor is 2v2, and I think part of that is because of how the game is built. You can duel 1v1, and in the game you get more honor. You're more
Yeah,
honorable if you
yeah,
have a 1v1 duel. But you know what? If you're a scumbag like me, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna help my teammate out. Whether I'm gonna try to
yeah,
steal that kill, right?
yeah,
And but the game is designed that it doesn't make if it's 2v1, that one player isn't at like a serious disadvantage.
yeah.
In fact, he
Because the
may
rage, yeah,
actually have an advantage because of
yeah,
the defensive mechanics in the game, blocking,
yep.
parrying, those
Blocking
kinds of
and rage,
things.
yep.
And yeah, what's your preference? What do you like to play? What modes do you like to play in the game? What do you think is, you talked a lot about 4v4, but what do you think is the most interesting? What will be the most interesting modes as from a spectator standpoint?
I think from a spectator standpoint, I think it's definitely going to be the 4v4, because when you think
Mhm.
about it, when you let the 4v4 in, again, the production, the ability, what they allow for production as far as where the camera is, who the camera's
Right,
on, what's going on here, what's going on there, you have so much more space, and you could still get to a 2v2. You could
right,
still get a 1v1. If we just play 2v2, we're losing something. Like, we're not
right,
allowing some of the game to happen. You know what I mean? Where if we had the 4v4, we could still get down to those last two players. Like, hey, homie,
yeah,
like, it's me and you. You know what I mean? Like, imagine that. Last player, the map is everyone's dead. It's me and you. We're both on break, and it's like, this is it. Like, I'm about to either win this or I'm not going to win this for the team. You know what I'm saying? So I think that feeling, we lose that. We won't be able to get to that point doing a 1v1 or a 2v2. Me personally, I don't mind a 1v1 or 2v2 or 4v4. I don't like skirmish.
right.
Skirmish is the
Okay,
one where it's like the 4v4, but you're killing people up to 1,000 and then it
right.
breaks. I like Dominion and 2v2 and 1v1 more. Like, I don't really like the skirmish at all, but I do see pros and cons in each of them. Like, what are we going to do about the weapons and the gear and stuff like that? Like, is that going to be turned off? And this is
Right,
why I
because
feel
gear has
like,
stats.
yeah, gear has stats. So I think a lot of it is going to be waiting on to see what Ubisoft really wants to do as far as what the other TOs. It's kind of like us waiting for the Evil rules. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, what's Evil going to do? Are we having 3 rounds or two? I mean, obviously we know, but is it going to be set on 3 rounds or is it going to be on 2 rounds? So now that it's fresh, imagine Evil wasn't there and a fighting game came out and we were like, all right, what the hell are we doing? Like, people want to run events, but what do we do? Is it 2 rounds? Is it 3 rounds? Is it on 50 seconds? Do we leave the clock on 99 seconds? What do we do
right.
in a draw? So I think that's where For Honor is, and we're just waiting to see what the developers really do with their league or circuit or whatever, what the real esports Ubisoft rule set's going to be. So now
Sure.
we're just trying to do the best that we can, making something so people could see it, people know what's going on, and just generate some hype, and just have people understand and enjoy watching the game.
All right, before we wrap, real quick, what character do you prefer? And as someone who might be looking at this game, uh, maybe they do or don't have fighting game experience, but it has enough of the foundation of fighting games. But I think it's also a game someone can just pick up with no fighting
Yeah.
game experience, of course.
I think
What
it's
do you?
way more. I'm sorry. I think it's more attractive to people that don't play fighting games. Like,
Sure.
someone who doesn't play could pick it up and be like, oh, I get this. This is clear as day. This is how you block, and then I swing. If he swings, he can't recover. I can hit him back.
Yeah.
It's actually
Yeah.
very easy to understand. Sorry.
Yeah. No, no. So who do you prefer to play? And as someone who wants to get into this, what do you think is sort of the best way for them to get in and let's just say get good at For Honor?
I use the Orochi personally. Um,
My man.
Yeah, I use the Orochi. Yes, I use the Orochi. I tried a couple of the characters, especially throughout the betas and stuff like that. I don't know. I like the Orochi. He's been
Yeah.
nerfed a lot since the betas and the alphas. Like, they definitely
Okay.
toned him down a little bit. He was super good for a while. But yes, I use the Orochi, and You know, it's honestly just like a fighting game. There's people to
Yeah.
watch. You know what I mean? There's two players that everybody talks about. Is Galto, I think that's how you say his name, and Ice Guys. Everybody knows who these two For Honor players are. Like they're super good. They
Yeah.
stream a lot. You know what I'm saying? There's YouTube videos of these guys. So again, it's hard because the game is so new. Like I wish I can be like, here, there's a For Honor
Sure.
tutorial video. You know what I mean? Like,
Resource, right?
sure, yeah. I mean, there's obviously sources on YouTube and Reddit. I'm sure if anyone really wants to know, I mean, I was posting in a competitive Reddit forum, and there's guys talking about all sorts of things. So if someone wants to start, I would start there. If you're
Yep.
really fresh out of ideas where to go, I would use Reddit and I would use YouTube and I would just play. I would just play. You know, there's plenty of practice modes. There's bots to play against. There's a level of bots. All the characters are right there. And even if you don't own the characters, I'm pretty sure you can still practice with them. I think
Right,
that's in the
right.
game. I'm pretty sure. So you don't have to buy them with steel or whatever. You could just use them and practice with them. And then if you want to use
You,
steel,
you know what? All you have to do is go through the tutorial, and I think the advanced tutorial, and that earns you enough that you can unlock every character, I believe, except two.
really? Oh, there you go.
And all it takes is maybe a couple hours of play to unlock the other two.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, not bad.
Uh, Joe, thank you. I'm so happy we were able to coordinate
Finally.
finally.
Fine.
I know you've been busy, and I'm happy to see you. Of course, just getting out there and traveling and playing Street Fighter because I know that's what you love. I know you love playing fighting games.
Yes.
Really looking forward to seeing what you guys do with For Honor. Like I said, I enjoy the game. I wish the online was a little bit better right now, but it's better than another game that came out a year ago.
Yeah. In time, in
And if
time.
yeah, and of course, happy to see you at E League. Looking forward to
Thank you.
seeing
Thank you.
your happy, smiling face on TBS. So
Oh yeah.
train hard. Good luck with
Yes,
that.
sir.
I just
Thank
have
you.
one last request.
Whatever you
Can
need.
we sign off with a praise the sun?
Tell me when you're ready.
Let's do it.
I would have worn my Dark Souls shirt if I knew we were gonna do this.